Welcome to the Breaking Ice podcast. My name is Josh Ferguson, and today I'm sitting down with McKinley Winters.
Yes, Winters.
Winters.
Yep.
And he is in Norman Wells because of Nutrition North. But
Correct.
Other than that, I don't know anything about you. How you doing today?
Thank you for this opportunity to come onto your podcast. I look forward to our conversation tonight. To start off with myself, I guess, to give you an idea about who I am and where I'm from. And so my name is McKinley Winters, as you just mentioned.
Yep.
I live in the Inuit region called Nunavut.
Okay.
In the capital of Nunavut, Hopedale.
Okay.
The central in Labrador on the east coast.
Okay.
Right by the Atlantic Ocean, like 10 meters away from the ocean, you can take a dive.
Wow.
I have a family of 5, my wife and 3 children.
Okay.
And my son just graduated from basic military qualifications in Saint Jean Garrison.
Congratulations.
If that's French, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. And so he's in Alberta now for more training, and I'm really happy for him. And he's a young man, so he's off to a good start.
Yeah, no kidding.
And my 2 younger children, I had a daughter. She's really into sports and loves volleyball.
Yeah.
And my youngest son, he's still teenager, younger style. Not younger style, but
How old is he?
He's 12.
Okay, yeah.
He's finding his way.
Out who he is.
Yeah.
He's just starting to figure out who he is to then figure out who he is.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're really excited for his future. See what he's really friendly and he likes to joke.
You have 4 kids.
3.
3 kids. Oh, family of 5. I see.
Yes.
Very cool. That's awesome. And you grew up there your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised on a stormy winter day in January by a local nurse. So it all went well.
That's cool.
I met my wife in 2003, and we've been together ever since. Married in 2011.
Uh-huh.
And we've been doing everything together. We like traveling and seeing the world and doing things together with our family and spending time at our cabin and just to get some peaceful, like just here in Norman Wells.
So how many people live in the town you grew up in?
Around 636 as of December 2024.
So this is a very familiar size.
Yeah, it's very at home.
Yeah.
But you got more trees and there's no Atlantic Ocean.
Fair enough.
At sight anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have any trees up there?
We do. The tree line's about 20 kilometers southwest of Hopedale.
Okay, so
far. Other than that, it's all rock, but to the tree line is
and you guys are on the coast, so there's a lot of rock as well.
All rock, so everything will be blasted for water. And
it must be granite up there, eh?
I'm not sure of the rock, but it's solid rock. It's a hard rock to blast, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's expensive to build there.
Okay.
For sure.
So what brings you to Norman Wells? You don't live very close.
Say again?
You don't live very close.
No, we're a long ways away, actually. So I'm here for meetings. I'm part of Advisory Board for Nutrition North.
That's right.
And we're here, and we got the minister got our ear. So we're listening to people in the communities, and this is our first visit. I became part of this board now since December 2024.
Very cool.
It's learning experience for me as well, learning as I go, and living in Hopedale gives you insight of what we can do to improve the program, and listening to people and coming here. This is my first visit to a community in the eligible communities across Canada.
Okay.
And just came here to listen and to see
hope you had a good welcome and a good visit so far.
It's lovely so far. It's really at home, like I said. It's really comforting and nice people and friendly people. And we met with a lot of organizations the last 2 days, the town and the store managers, tours of the stores. And
so does Nutrition North operate across Canada?
They do, yep.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was just a NWT thing. I wasn't exactly sure.
No, it's all territories, provinces, and Indigenous land claims.
Okay, so what's the goal of Nutrition North?
To help reduce the Nutrition North is to reduce the cost of shipping in food through semi-isolated communities or full communities. On the freight and barges like here in Norman Wells.
We used to have barges.
Yes, unfortunately, I heard. So this visit opened my eyes more and to see your situation you're in here and the community is in. It puts it in perspective. Face-to-face meetings do help. And
that kind of thing. It's really hard to communicate with anyone about anything without them being present in the place.
Exactly.
Like the internet's a wonderful thing, and we can do a lot with the internet and video and all that kind of thing. But there's a really big difference being face to face with someone compared to being on the phone.
Huge.
Out of sight, out of mind is such a problem.
Exactly.
But we super appreciate you guys coming up. It's
I
was just in a town meeting as a business owner, and we were talking about Nutrition North coming up, and I think it was your guys' first visit here. Maybe I'm not sure.
I can't speak to the prior board, so I don't think it is. Correct me. If
I had never heard of you guys coming up, so we were excited that you were coming, and I'm glad that you had a good time so far.
Yes, it's really good.
That's cool.
To see the river down low is really puts it in perspective too of how, even though it looks 20 feet lower, but there's a big difference for the boats, I would say, too.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And even in the time that I've been here, it I probably have never even seen the river as high as it normally is.
Yeah.
But it's low.
Yep. And
there's still water in it, of course, and it still serves a function, but it's not the transportation hub that it used to be.
Is there a reason why climate change? I'm hearing that.
Climate change, but it's like obviously it could rain here like all summer, but like regardless of that, like the water from the river comes from upstream, right? Yep. So we kind of need it to rain in like BC and Alberta for the drainage basin to affect here. So since they're in a drought, it affects our water levels, and I'm not sure, there must be dams and things like that. I don't exactly know how it all works, but that's from what I hear. I remember a few years ago there was floods in some of the other communities.
Yeah, hearing the same thing since I've been here.
Yeah. Yep. But we've had the opposite problem these days. But actually, this in the last 10 days, it's been raining a lot, which has been awesome.
It rained hard last night.
And even if the rain here doesn't raise the water levels, right? Because it'll run into the river and then keep going north of us. Yeah. It keeps the forest damp and keeps the fires down.
For sure.
So that's really good.
Yep.
Do you?
Hopefully it stays that way.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yep.
I was saying that it can rain 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then hopefully it be sunny on the weekends.
I've seen that the last 3 days I've been here, you see rain and sun throughout the day, each day, which is good.
It's pretty surprising, actually, how quick it can turn.
Yeah.
I remember last summer, you would leave stuff outside that couldn't get wet, confidently knowing that it would be fine.
Yeah.
But
and in my region in Hopedale, we're seeing higher rising water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here you're losing water. Interesting. Totally. From almost coast to coast.
So what does that's not ocean level or
ocean level.
Ocean level is
rising.
Is higher.
You can see it in my cabins in a bay, and you can see a big difference over the last 4 or 5 years.
Interesting.
It's getting higher and higher every year.
What do you have any freshwater sources around you? Are there lakes and whatnot as well?
There's 7 major rivers right around Hopedale area, north and south.
Oh, very cool.
A lot of fishing camps.
So you guys like a delta almost,
We're right on the coast, and it's all just a lot of islands around our area to the ocean, and after that is just all the ocean.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you have a boat? You get on the ocean?
Oh, yes. A way of life just like here in Northwest Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
The Norman Wills, I would assume.
You go fishing on the sea?
Oh, yes. Yeah. and in the rivers and by my cabin.
That's so cool.
A way of life and peaceful life.
So what was it like growing up, that area? Kind of paint the picture from when you were a kid.
Growing up, there was no water and sewer when I was young.
Okay.
Yeah, we had no water and sewer. And
honey buckets?
Honey buckets, yes, sir. You understand? Yes. So it was another till I was around 12. I think we started getting water and sewer putting.
Okay.
Because of the cost to blast this all rock, like I said, Hopedale, and it's a major cost, double in most other communities who just got sand or whatever.
And are you saying that the blasting was so expensive to then put water and sewer in?
Yep, they're putting it under the ground.
I see.
Blasting the rock and laying it under.
That sounds super expensive.
It is, yeah, and it still is. It's even more now today, I would.
And is your community a fly-in, or is there a road to the community?
It's all fly-in.
It's all fly-in
remote and fairy in the summer, springtime, the fall till the ice comes again, and then it's just plain in the winter. Unless you use your own snowmobile or speedboat just to get.
No winter road.
No winter road.
Okay.
No, it's a bit different in here.
Yeah.
But you can travel on your own speedboat to Nain or McCovic to other communities north and south of us, or you can go by speedboat or snowmobile. Skidoo.
I always find it fascinating how the diversity of community experiences across Canada, because it's I feel like we live in a very unique place, which is true. But then I hear of places like this, and you're like, yeah, no winter road. We get ferry access in the summer. It's
likewise here in the barge running this river, it's really different. It's good traveling, and it puts things in perspective and gives you a broader view of what's happening in the world, even in our own country.
Yeah,
from the neighboring provinces and territories.
Certainly. And then, what were your parents like?
loving parents. They grew up the best they could. They got me disciplined at a young age, got me into working. Right out of grade 8, I started working in school.
Nice.
Part-time now, of course, after school and the evenings on the weekends, stuff like that.
What job?
Store handler, as a stock handler for 4 years until I graduated in 2002.
Okay.
So I worked with a local grocery store, stock handling, understood the freight and how the planes were, picking up freight from the planes, all that stuff.
It's an important job.
At that time. It gave me a lot of foundational aspects of it and helped me to be a more disciplined person, I guess, as I grew older.
Totally. And then when you graduated, what did you do after that?
I tried to go to school for the first fall for college, transfer year, just to upgrade my credits and try out what university was like. And I lasted a month.
It wasn't for you?
It wasn't for me. So I said, I got to go home.
Fair enough.
And then 6 years later, I think it was, 2008, I went to college again, done power engineering course.
Okay.
Completed that. My wife went the same time. She started that fall, done accounting. And we went back home working in our fields.
Did you meet your wife in those 6 years? Or did you meet her at school?
It was a year after school I met my wife in 2003.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then I started my trade, worked in a mining company north of Hopedale, Voisey's Bay. Somebody who's listening might have heard of it.
Yeah.
It's a big mining company where they haul out a lot of nickel, cobalt, and copper from the mine.
Gotcha.
$1 billion company every year.
And is that near the community? Or
it's north of Hopedale, south of Nain.
Okay.
Yep.
And is that one of the big industries that kind of keeps the place alive?
Huge.
Yeah.
It's a big employer from people along the coast and across Canada and across the world.
Yes.
So a lot of people's flying in, flying out, planes every day. It's a big mine.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
So, that's obviously kind of part of the way of life up there right now.
And there's a lot of jobs in our community as well. Our local government, the municipal government, got a lot of programs and divisions set up now. Department of Health and Social Development, Education, and there's a lot of opportunities and a lot more jobs than when I was younger. Which is good. People got choices now. Before you're lucky to get a job when I was a teenager, young man, I guess, 20 years ago. But now there's a lot of opportunities. And
you were lucky to have the stock handler job.
Yes, very. We were fighting for jobs 20 years ago, 30 years ago, fighting.
So are you, and then after you got your power engineering certificate,
fourth class.
And then you worked in the community in that field?
Yes, before that, I was working with Newfoundland Labrador Hydro as a diesel plant operator.
Gotcha.
Then I went and got more training to get in Voisey's Bay. I myself went to Voisey's Bay had to get that certification to run the plant in Voisey's Bay.
Okay.
That's how that came to be. And I was at that until 2016 working in diesel plants.
Okay, so then how do you transition from that to working with Nutrition North?
Yes, sir. Good question.
It's always fascinating kind of how life takes you. Eh?
Oh, you don't know.
You really can't tell.
Prime example of what I'm about to say now shortly.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So 2016, there was opportunity to come up home, full-time job.
Okay. With
our local government under Department of Health and Social Development, a team leader position came out. So I applied. I was successful in getting it.
Cool.
So I got me out of Voisey's Bay, home with my family every day now, because Voisey's Bay was 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out.
Totally, very different lifestyle.
And my kids were young. My oldest son was about 10 years old. So I said, I got to really think, and 2 more come on board. So I said, I got to start thinking about being with my children and my family and my wife. And,
yeah, totally.
And so 2016, I got that job. And then that's where it got me into the Nutrition North program. Learned about how it worked through suppliers and ordering personal and direct orders, and got me an idea of Nutrition North and where the funds come from the federal government.
So you were kind of interfacing with Nutrition North through your job?
Yes, and through my job, not knowing what I was going to get to here today.
Totally.
Which opened my eyes and seen some opportunities and to help our people and across Canada to a direct voice to the minister, which is very impactful.
Yeah.
And listening to our members.
Which minister? Is it the Minister of
Northern Affairs for the federal government?
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And dealt with that for 4 years. Not just that. Now there was other programs within our community that I had to look at, and a lot of it was on Nutrition North, though.
Okay.
Yep, community programs and ordering food, produce to the program to offset the cost instead of paying full price before the subsidy, which helps.
Yeah, because for anyone who doesn't live in the North who's listening, food prices can be outrageous. Well, it makes sense why it's so high, because the food isn't grown here. It's got to be transported in and whatnot. But it's prohibitively expensive.
Yes, as you all know, Northwest Territory, the prices here it's very similar to home, so we all understand and we relate.
Yeah, totally,
for sure.
But it's a great program. I've heard about it ever since I moved here, and I feel like the energy towards Nutrition North is like definitely a grateful one.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, it's good work that you're doing.
Awesome.
Is it federally funded? Is that how that works?
Yes, it's all through the federal government.
Okay.
And there's it also goes to the Indigenous groups across Canada, Indigenous communities who is eligible for the Harvester Support Grant, for example, and they can help with harvesting your own funds it's grants to help Indigenous communities to go hunting, funds to go get gas to go hunting.
Oh, there's like subsidies for helping harvest food from on the land.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
It's a grant, actually.
A grant.
Yep.
Gotcha.
They're given to Indigenous groups across Canada if they're recognized within in the Canada government.
Yeah.
I think there's 112, eligible right now with Harvester Support Grant.
Very cool.
And there's 124 communities eligible for the whole Nutrition North program, the subsidies like here in Norman Wells.
And then, so on this tour, how many communities are you visiting?
This one here is just the first one, like I said, just the first one here now, Norman Wells.
Yeah, is this the first of many?
Yes, for sure. We're looking at another one this fall, hopefully, in Ontario if it all works out. So,
sorry, I meant this visit. Do you go to like Toledo next, or
no? This is just one here, so we go back home from here.
I see.
Yep,
I see. And what was the topic of discussion while you were here?
From the community, or it was a great discussion. So we're here to listen, and that's why we're here, to see what community feels and how the program works. And a lot of conversation was around, just thinking here, the cost. I guess they see the high prices of food here as well. They understand. For sure. And they also understand that a subsidy do bring the prices down.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
It was good to see it that way. Good perspective. Not perspective, but understanding of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And the difference between how... I'm just thinking there was a lot of conversations we had today.
Well, it's hard to summarize something like that in a couple of days. Because you were at the Legion, and there was a public event there, and then were you meeting with business, like the grocery stores?
Yeah, grocery stores. We done Ramparts and the Northern, and we had presentations today, and the town council today. And,
very cool.
And the food pantry, just putting it all together.
True.
There's similar conversation with everybody.
Yeah.
And just high cost of food now, and your gas prices went up.
Yes.
A lot of conversation around that.
Yeah.
Since there was no barge and the price went up to $5 a liter.
Yeah, there was quite the crisis in the fall, because basically since we didn't get our barges, we were still kind of depending on the barge for our fuel order.
Yeah.
So then, there wasn't like enough to get us through to the winter road, and we had to fly in. I don't know how many planes came in with gas, but gas and diesel. Yeah,
went over to $5, I believe, per liter.
I must have been the most expensive fuel in the world.
Yes, sir. Yep, a lot.
Yeah,
I thought $2.03 a liter back home was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I filled up as many jerry cans as I could.
Yep.
To just try and bridge through the high price season.
Yep. And in that conversation too, when we talked about that, they also recognized that the program helped bring the food costs down.
Yeah.
Through shipping your food in on the planes.
Yeah. Where
the barge couldn't run. So.
Yeah. So are communities classified by like remoteness or something like that? Like,
it's you can apply through the process through the Canada government, and if you're eligible, there's got to have an airport, and there's a website.
Yeah.
And it's just to put it out there, it's nutritionnorthcan.gc.ca.
Okay, perfect.
And everything's on there: how the programs run, who's eligible, how the process is, and how you apply. And like I said, there's 125 isolated eligible communities right now under the program.
Yeah.
And 112. To be eligible for the program, a community must be considered isolated and meet these requirements.
Sure.
So Norman Wells is because you got the semi-barge and winter road every.
Totally, like we don't have a road basically.
So that kind of way, and Hopedale, where I live, we got no road, but it's only by airplane, so we're registered community as well.
Yeah,
eligible
that makes
community.
Perfect sense.
If that makes sense to you.
No, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, good.
Well, I imagine that there's like a variety of levels of isolation. Like you might have like places that have barge access or like temporary road access, but then places that have none of that.
Yes.
And just have planes.
Yep.
Right. So those places would probably be eligible for a higher subsidy kind of thing.
And another thing is like lack your own surface transportation, like you guys here. Meet the territorial provincial definition of northern community.
Yeah.
It's all on the website.
For sure.
It's all there.
Great. Well, I'll put a link on the episode for people to do it.
Yep.
If anyone is runs a community or whatnot, needs looking for a subsidy, you can contact Nutrition North.
Yes, it's all on the web there. It's helpful for me too to look on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how has your time been in your new position? So is this your full-time job now, or
no? So back to my story.
Yeah.
So in 2019 I had a spiritual experience.
Okay.
I wasn't a churchgoer.
Okay.
I just went to church during Christmas and Easter and hurry up and get me out of church when I was in there. There was no relation to the Creator and nothing at all. There was a minister came to Hopedale from Jamaica.
Okay.
On a sabbatical leave.
Okay.
And I just went to church one day while he was there, just curious. I still don't understand why I went there yet.
Okay.
And he was doing his sermon, and just something in my heart changed. The whole outlook on life.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I was glued to his the way he was talking. Just woke up in my heart, and he started Bible and prayer nights in Hopedale.
Okay.
And
does he live there now?
No, he's from Jamaica. He was on a leave, just doing a 3-month sabbatical leave.
I see.
Trying to figure out his calling too, I guess. And
yeah.
So, my wife would be, I'll give you an example. Long story short, me and my wife would be talking about personal matters at home. No one else knew. Just me and my wife having a conversation similar to a podcast.
Yeah.
And we go to Bible study or prayer night that night. What me and my wife talked about, he'd answer and direct us in what we just talked about that day.
Okay.
I said, what? I'd be tapping my wife on the leg. How does he know this? We never met the fella before.
Yeah.
And he was answering what we needed to hear, and we kept going back. That kept happening. Every week we went. And then we started getting more spiritual signs, and we decided to go do schooling in theology. And we just finished last month.
Okay. And what was that like?
Beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there was challenges in it too.
For sure. Well, like anything, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In the first month of school, I almost quit. Like, can I do this? 35 years old, doing schooling again, and thought I was done with it. But
how long was the program?
5 years. We got our Master of Theology.
Oh my goodness.
And my wife done it together. She had the experience, I think it was before or after, a couple of weeks, another experience in church with the same minister at a funeral. Something in her heart just woke up to when he was speaking.
So wait, let me get this straight. You had an epiphany during a service.
Yep, a regular Sunday service.
And then you and your wife both went and did a master's in theology?
Yes, bachelor first.
That is not normal.
No, it's not normal. We're still in awe.
No kidding.
But the signs kept happening as we were going through it. The direction, just listening to it. We'd be praying, and you'd be answering it through TV shows or radio or movies. It was getting your answers comes from people. It's everywhere. The nature around you, it's when you become aware, is powerful, I tell you. I thought I'd never be on this path, and people home, my family were all like, this to fad, you'll just be all gone in a couple of weeks, you go back again.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's so interesting.
Yes.
And you never had a religious inkling prior to that, really?
Nothing. There was no, ever since I was a child, as Sunday school.
Yeah.
That was it.
So
that was till I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9, and it all stopped from there until 2019.
So give me a sense of how that's changed your outlook. How do you look at life now?
Complete different outlook now. Is more relational with the land and our connection with it. Like Norman Mills here, you got a beautiful place for that. Excuse me. And with my family now, it's more present with my family and aware and wanting to be with them more and just growing them now to help them find life and a meaning in life. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they're going to follow my path.
Sure.
I'm happy with whatever path they choose to go and take. It's just going to be with good guidance now and just more calmness for me and my family. And it's a beautiful, I tell you, it brings so much peace.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Everybody could experience. I never thought I would either.
Well, it's one of those things. Obviously, people have like a complex relationship with faith, and
yep.
it's not like an easy topic to talk about, or for someone who understands deeply, talking to someone who doesn't get it. It's a weird gap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I understand like how on this path, like I was there too. I understand. It's just been so much peace on this journey. Everything. It's just your family gets stronger. Your love for your wife. Not saying I didn't love my wife.
No. But I understand
it's
that.
more connection now. It's more aware on what she's saying and just present. That's all it is. Just being present.
So how did you had kids when you had this awakening?
Yes.
So what was their experience like?
My oldest son, he's in the phase. He's in our old selves. Sorry, he's in how we lived before this path.
Sure.
And we did ask him, like, son, like, how do you feel about this now? Like, he said, nothing never changed. He said, he just said, what was the wife said? Our son says, you never changed. It's just your approach is different than that now. Something like that, if I recall correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
he did see a change. He recognized it. The younger two was too small.
Yeah. So it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just the small children.
But did he kind of talk about a positive change? Like,
yes, it's all positive for sure.
A positive change. Yeah. And do you feel like you're engaging with life more in more of an alive way? I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's more connection with our land too and aware of it, the presence and peace it gives. Like Norman Wells, you're just every day I'm looking at my window and looking at the hills and the beautiful land you have here in the river and just looking out the window here now, looking at the mountains. I think it's Mackenzie Mountains.
Yeah, those are the Mackenzies.
It's just beautiful. And the hills behind me on the other side of the river here, the side
they
we're
are
on
quite
now.
Something, eh?
It's just like Yellowstone, that show. The rolly hills. It's just...
So what's your preferred way to connect with your spirituality? Spending time on the land?
For sure. That's a big help. When I need the peace myself, as we're all human, we need our coping skills. And at the cabin, I'm sure there's full of cabins around here.
Sure.
There's a lot of peace there. And what helps me every day, there's in our denomination, we're Moravians. It's a Protestant group from Germany. Missionaries came over to Labrador in the 18th century.
Okay.
And they provided a Moravian daily text.
Okay.
It's chosen by lot in Germany in 3 years in advance. So 2023, they had 24 done, 25 and 26 done. And they asked the creator to pick some verses out the bowl to see if this was right for today. So today is June 4th. There's verses picked in 2023 for today. And you'll be amazed how the verses from the Bible add up to your life today.
Oh, so you pick a verse from the year prior and then you read it a year later?
In 2023, the verses were picked up until 2026 out of a bowl in Herrnhut, Germany.
Okay.
Yep. And they asked the creator, is this the right verse for today? And if it is, they'll put it in for June 4th today.
Okay.
And they find a New Testament reading along with that to coincide with that. And the other 3 readings gets you through to read the Bible in 2 years.
Okay.
And you'll be amazed how it speaks to you what's happening with your life today, with whatever situation you're going through. Well, it's not every day now, don't get me wrong.
No,
but it's teaching skills or just keep you grounded. It helps me anyways.
Yeah, well, and even if it's something that wasn't necessarily relevant to the day itself, but it could be something that you're working on in your life anyways.
Exactly.
Or, there's any number of ways that you can relate to that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you don't mind me saying, I'll just read out the verses for today. You can get it on your phone app too as well. Moravian Daily Text might cost $1 something on Apple or whatever. But once you get it, it's dear for life. So the daily watchword for today was chosen in Germany, like I said, in 2023, June 4th, 2025 today.
Okay.
And it's coming from Psalm 89:26. Somebody listening might need this verse today.
All right.
You are my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation. And the New Testament reading, the doctrinal text from Matthew 6:11. Give us today our daily bread. And today's prayer, Holy God of our salvation. These prayers, before I read it, were chosen in America. The texts were chosen in Germany. So there's Moravians in USA as well. And we get ministers spiritually contemplate the readings for today. They're picking last year for the prayers for today, what they decided, and the hymns, but the hymns is not on the app. And they... So it's a Moravian minister in America who chooses the prayer.
Okay.
Yep. Holy God of our salvation, we praise your holy name. Provide us with our daily bread. As we trust in your provision, we give thanks for your steadfast love and faithfulness. Amen. So these readings just keeps me going every day, keeps me grounded and mindful of grounding myself.
Yeah, very cool. And have your children shown interest in pursuing a similar path? Like you were talking about how you're okay if they decide not to,
Yes,
but you know, obviously if your parents are
Yep.
you know, dedicated to something, it must pique your interest in some way.
My oldest son he's on his own right now. I respect that. Like I said, he just joined the army and he's finding his own. I'm giving him his space to figure out what he wants in life.
Totally.
There's no pressure from doing the same path or not. And
Yeah.
I'd be happy, of course, if he do it. But as long as he got the guiding principles how to work in this life and live in this life, I'm happy. And my daughter, she's 13 now, and she's a teenager. So she's as you know, teenagers they're on their own right now.
I worked with teenagers for a very long time.
Yeah.
I used to be a canoe guide in Northern Ontario.
Yep.
In Temagami.
Oh wow.
And basically all summer I would take between 10-year-olds to 19-year-olds on canoe trips for 3 weeks.
Nice.
So we'd go out on the land and we basically would just travel every day.
Yep.
We barely ever have a day where we would like rest.
Yep.
Like you would wake up, pack up your stuff, paddle, you know, set up and kind of just have that like daily rhythm.
Yep.
And yeah, there was definitely like a spiritual, it wasn't like within any structured religion or whatnot, but there's definitely like a spiritual experience to that daily rhythm and connecting with the people around you in that kind of a place.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can see it, the spiritual presence there.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know, my heritage is like a Jewish heritage.
Yep.
And I always joke that I'm Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
but basically like, I had, a bar mitzvah and we have practiced some, but not, we don't practice like that, like all that much, but, we definitely, you know, connect with our roots and my family. And in Mexico, where my parents grew up, sorry, not where my parents grew up, where I grew up, there is a relatively large Jewish community, but they're all usually expats. So they're Americans or Canadians who moved to Mexico, and they live there now. But they were so excited when my bar mitzvah came around because there was so many like not young kids there. Yeah. So they hadn't had a bar mitzvah in like, you know, 30 years or something like that when it was finally my turn. Yep. And I think that there's a really big component to community building
for sure,
in terms of, you know, what faith can do for people.
It's I never thought it was there. I had no clue. I was far from it, like I said, but it's there.
Is this
a community, as you said, is key.
Oh, for sure.
That's what life's about, building a community with your neighbors. And
it provides a kind of like a foundation for the community to be built upon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a solid foundation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is your home community, do a lot of folks there practice?
Unfortunately, no, as the numbers are low in church yet, but I am hopeful and not really worried about the numbers, but just living my actions hopefully will make a difference. And don't get me wrong.
The thing you can do is lead by example,
we
right?
support our community and we try to help them out the best we could. And in one time, and hopefully it might be in my time, but I'm hopeful that people will find their way.
Yeah.
And back to my youngest son, he's spiritual right now. He's, like I said, he's a younger teenager, 12 years old.
12, yeah.
He's and my other children too, but his connection with spirituality is already showing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what path he's going to have in the future, but he got some connections there and how we talk and for example, he was in the truck with a few of his friends, and my wife was there with him listening, and they were saying there's 3 of us in here. There was my son and 2 of his friends. My wife was there, but he never included her. Sure. He was saying there was 3 of us here. One of his friends was saying, and my son was saying, no, there's 4 of us here. There's you, me, and Jesus on his own. Yeah. And we're not preaching to our children about this path, and the 2 youngest or the oldest. We're just in our own space, in our own time, giving them their space as well. Yeah. We're just, he must be just observing us, I guess. Sure. But he's making connections like that, which is really amazing in what he could say. Another example, we had a funeral. He wanted to come to church with us to witness the funeral. Yeah. He was only, I think, 8.
Well, and death is a confusing thing for little kids, you know?
And he just, when we were bringing the body to the hole, we were walking along. He walked ahead everybody.
He walked ahead of them all?
Everybody on his own, weaved through all the people. Yeah. On his own. We were like, remember the Bible verse, like Jesus walking through people, eh? Yeah. I'm not saying he's Jesus now,
for sure.
Similarities there. And So we laid the body down in the grave, and he said she's just resting on his own.
Yeah.
Like the words he was using too, like this, we didn't tell you about that. And it says that in the Bible, right? You're just resting it till Jesus comes again. It is just his own words at 8 years old was like an adult. He was talking. He was so calm and peaceful. Like.
Let me just check the time here.
We're doing good with time?
Oh, yeah, no, we're doing great. We got time still.
So we finished our studies last month.
Okay.
And...
So you just got your degrees?
Yep.
Last month?
Last month in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
It wasn't easy, but we got through it.
Was it distance education? Were you doing it online?
All on virtual from Hope, though. Thanks to Elon Musk and his Starlink.
Yeah.
Made a difference on the speed for
Very
doing our
cool.
homework.
That's so awesome.
Even though, so it was good. Really good. A fabulous 5 years.
Yeah.
So that path, like, it made us more present, and the need to help our people.
Yeah.
And especially me, and that's why I took more interest into wanting to be a part of this board and got appointed in December, like, to help people and to listen and to try to make some kind of change to help people all across Canada.
Yeah. So do you feel like your faith is guiding you in terms of the work that you're trying to do?
Good question. I would say that, like I said, it would be my connection wanting to help people right now.
Yeah.
Just that need there. I think that does help me for sure to get me on this board as advisory member. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yep.
What a wild story. I did an episode with a woman named Doris Howard who lives here, and you should listen to it. She has a really, really wild story, and it's a faith journey as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check it out.
on your podcast?
Yeah, it's awesome. A really good episode.
Just putting her name and
Yep. Yeah, I'll show it to you before you leave today.
Sure, that'd be great.
So do you have, when you think about the future, and you just got your education, is there anything that you plan to do with your education, or do you have goals and aspirations?
For sure. It's right now, and just my wife just started a job home just to keep us going right now as school finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just patiently waiting to see where I got to fit now. And I don't mind. I'm comfortable where I'm too. Mm-hmm. And hopefully by September, I got to make a decision what I'm going to do, look for a job or go into full-time ministry, or I'm just praying and just trusting and waiting.
So if you decided to go into full-time ministry, what does that look like? How does that work?
It's going to be home for now until our children are grown up.
Yeah.
To finish the high school, then we'll make a decision if we're going to move or stay, and just trusting and praying and to see where we need to be.
Okay.
And once we get that confirmation, that alignment, it will all work out. We're hopeful.
So if you were to kind of follow that path, would the church support you in
yes,
like financially in what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
If we're going to full-time ministry.
Yeah.
There, yep.
That's so cool. That's such a good example of not knowing where your life will take you. Because you said that earlier in the conversation, I had no idea what you were going to say.
Yeah. It's just peaceful. That's why it gives you so much peace. You're not worrying no more.
Yeah.
Before this path, I was always worrying about a job or if I miss his work and my paycheck, like all this. It don't matter. Don't matter.
What were some of the biggest...
On this faith journey now, because I got the faith now and the understanding, I guess, this makes it so easy.
Yeah.
Just trusting,
I was curious where you saw the biggest impact in your life on kind of a pragmatic scale. Like, did you find it easier financially after do you know what I mean? Like after you adopted your faith, was there something behaviorally that changed?
Huge. Hopefully I'll answer your question here. If not, correct me. Before this path, it was all money, much money as I could make. It was weird about money, paying the bills, all that stuff. On this path, money is not on the top no more. It's just so much. I don't make it number one no more. Don't get me wrong. We're in a modern age now. We got bills to pay.
Well, certainly,
right?
Well, my mother-in-law told my wife when she was young that having money isn't everything, but not having money kind of is.
Yep.
But
I don't rely on it no more.
Sure.
Right? It's not my number one priority. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I got no job. We still got bills to pay. I'm not worrying about it. And if the bank calls my my loan away or my items, my skidoos or whatnot, is I'm okay with that. It just makes it so much easier.
Sure.
Not to it's only a material thing.
Yeah.
What's important is me and you having this conversation here.
Yeah.
With anybody, That's what life is about. I think just creating relationships and traveling the world and looking at all the different landscapes and listening to people. People just want somebody to listen to.
Yeah. No, it's I definitely think that listening is huge. It's hard to overstate how important that is.
Yeah.
And I think that so many people there's so many people who are afraid to speak deeply about themselves.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you can hide behind.
Yes, it was hard for me. It's still hard for me. I got to work through it. We're human. It will never go away, I don't think.
No.
It's always going to be there, but you just work through it. Try your best.
Yeah, vulnerability never becomes easier, I think.
No.
Well, it becomes a little easier, but it never becomes effortless.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you do, the vulnerability is shown, but you got to... It's freeing, I tell you. You're at peace, your mind, your body, everything. You're just... It don't matter no more if you're getting somebody to say something negative about you or it's just rubbed off now. Don't get me wrong, there's days challenging, but you work through it.
So what kind of hobbies do you have back home outside of you were working before, but
we do a lot of volunteer work with our community, me and my wife, with the youth especially, with trying to help them as much as we can. On Sundays we open the gym for them just to give them a space to be themselves and not judgmental to them, just being with them, connecting with them and showing them, not showing, but indirectly letting them know that you got opportunity in life. There's so much out there to learn from and to so much jobs you can take, not just in Hopedale, but across the world. And traveling with them or taking them on trips every year was just to open their eyes and the potential they have. And like myself, just seeing the world, it makes a difference. Say, like, for example, my first time going to a city in our province in St. John's, I was only 13, went out for volleyball. And I was downtown, I seen a diesel truck coming down the road. And I said, well, I love that sound. I said, I'm getting one of those when I get older. And 6 years later, I had one. I still got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives you a perspective on life, something to look forward to.
Totally.
Yep.
And you said that you have a boat as well?
Yes. Yep.
Do you spend a lot of time fishing? Is that a part of it?
Every chance we can, we're out on the land and fishing and hunting and caribou hunting when we can, if the band is not on. And up at the cabin every week and weekend is just so relaxing. As soon as I go around Hopedale Point, it's only a kilometer away from Hopedale, the weight just comes off your shoulders. They're just on the land and freedom.
I'm interested in your son. He's talked about him joining the military and he just finished his training?
Yep.
And how has his experience so far? Has it been powerful?
He's having a lovely experience. He loves it. He knows he's in the right field. Even before he would join the army for the last 3 or 4 years, he'd been working out, getting fit and preparing the last year before he actually got accepted in January.
Yeah.
Because it took a year-long process to get him an application in, get all the file work done, and he was already preparing with backpacks on his back, so he's ready to go.
He was dedicated.
He's very dedicated and disciplined.
Is there a direction in the army that he's?
Yep, he's going into infantry. That's his goal, and he's in the wing right now to do that infantry training.
Okay.
With the army. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. And
the other hobbies we like. I like cutting wood, saw my own logs.
Oh, yeah.
And making komatiks and.
Oh, you have a mill?
Yeah, my father do. So we cut logs and mill them and bring them home. And I petitioned my whole cabin inside. Made shiplap, I like working with my hands.
Oh yeah,
I love the feeling of it. And
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's just so cool. Peaceful for me.
Mills are amazing.
They are, right.
They're absolutely amazing.
When you do it yourself,
oh my goodness!
You go cut the log and you bring it over and you mill it. It's just beautiful.
Well, you just get like some of the most incredible material just from trees. You know
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how long did you learn woodworking when you were a kid?
Grew up around it, like living in Norman Wells and Hopedale. You're growing up around the culture, and you got to do it yourself. If not, how are you going to fix it? There's no mechanics. They fly in every now and then, but you got to do it yourself. Or you're going to be waiting a long time before the ice comes again to ship it out, or ship it out on a ferry to a place where there is mechanics. Mm-hmm. So you're a jack of all trades pretty much.
Yeah, master
in
of none.
communities like these. Yeah. Northwest Territories must be just the same, I think.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with the aircraft mechanics. And they're so handy. It's almost unfair. They can fix anything, you know.
Yeah. There you go.
I just try and change my oil on a regular basis and just like hope that everything goes well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's very, very cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's wonderful to hear your story. It was, you know, what I love about doing this is you never know who or what you're going to encounter, and this was completely unexpected.
Yep, I didn't think I was going to talk about this either. I thought it was going to be all Nutrition North, and hopefully you got some points in there that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
People needs to know that it do work, and that there's opportunity for growth as well, for sure.
Totally.
Yep, like with anything, it's learning curve, not a learning curve, but
so you're in an advisory position. How much time is that for you? And yeah, kind of tell me what that involvement looks like.
So, like I said, I'm 6 months into it now. It's new. I'm learning as I go. It's the minister have our ear, so that's why we're coming to Norman Wills, and other communities will be visiting across Canada, just listening to see what people view the program, and so whatever they mention, so we can hopefully make improvements to the minister. Say, look, this is what Norman Wills said. This is what Hopedale said, and make it easier and better for everybody to reduce the food insecurity and the cost too, right?
So is after all these trips you'll be kind of gathering information and data and suggestions, and then hopefully, you know, revamping your policies or whatnot.
Well, bring it to the minister, and
it's
we're advisory board, like I said, we don't have control to make that change.
Sure,
but we're right to the minister, so it's a direct access almost.
Yeah,
which is beneficial for all
and
Canadians.
Is that a recent development, the access to the minister, or is that always?
No, that's been since the Nutrition North program came into effect in 2011.
Okay,
yeah, that's when it all started.
That's very cool.
Yep,
that's very cool. Does it inspire you? Is it interesting?
Yes, like I said, this path makes us more passionate, I guess, to help people. It's what we're here to do, is to make it listen to people and help. And this role I'm in now with this theology and faith seeking understanding is making it much easier and more open to people and listening more.
Yeah. What does I had a question and I just completely forgot it.
Not at all. That's okay.
What was it? Oh, what are your biggest takeaways from your time here in Norman Wills?
Friendly people. Yeah. Well, you're really welcoming everywhere we went. Every building we went, the managers, the managers in both stores, the town, it was all except really welcoming. And yourself here tonight, I never thought this would happen. Wasn't even on my radar.
Well, yeah. I'm not that big, but
no, I didn't know this was even happening here in Norman Wills, a podcast. Yeah. So, but just listening to their concerns, the biggest takeaway, how people felt about the program, just being aware of it so that we can make the effective change that improves it for everybody. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on.
Our hour up already.
Well, I'm not, honestly, this is a new system and I didn't think about all the details, and I don't have a timepiece on me, so I don't actually know how far into the episode we are. But I
hope it was a good one.
It was a really interesting conversation, and I appreciate your time, and it was very gracious of you to come out tonight, and it's in the evening right now, so it's not in the middle of the day. And
it was very bright yet. It's dark home now. My wife is sleeping. Actually, it's 3 hours ahead.
Yeah. So how much further is?
We're lower than Norman Wills.
For sure.
Under the Arctic Circle.
What's your, we're at 66 degrees or whatever.
I wouldn't be able to give you degrees or not.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you have nighttime all summer?
So a bit more sun now in the summer.
Yeah.
So sun probably at the highest now this summer, probably around 10 o'clock, 10:30. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. If you go, I think I didn't know this until I moved here, but the Arctic Circle is determined by where the sun won't set. Right. So and conversely, where the sun doesn't rise in the winter. So that's what determines that line.
We're below the Arctic Circle, anyways.
For sure. Yeah. And we're not far from it. We're like 200 and some kilometers from the Arctic Circle.
Handy. Yeah.
It's
cool.
It's funny when people from down south talk to us and they go like, "How do you deal with the darkness?"
Yeah.
And it's funny because I go, the darkness isn't the challenge. It's the light. The light is so much more difficult. I find. Just in, and don't get me wrong, I love the summer and it's
Yep.
amazing, and all like the light is almost intoxicating. Like it's so awesome.
Yep.
But you don't realize how tired you are until it's like September when
Yep.
the darkness comes back and you realize, and you're outside and you're like, oh my God, it's dark.
Yep.
And there's like a relief
Yeah.
almost in
Yeah.
in the fall when that happens.
I thought I would have a hard time going to sleep here with the sun up so late, but having smooth
No,
sleeps.
just
perfect.
just zonked.
Close my curtain and I'm gone.
We do have the right curtains here, so it makes a big difference.
For sure.
Yeah, I have. We're actually going on a canoe trip this summer.
Oh,
my
wow,
wife
on
and
this
I.
river? Or?
No, well, on the Kiel River across the. It's in the mountains over there, just kind of closer to Toledo.
Yep.
It's 12 days, and we've done lots of canoe trips in our life. Like, geez, I don't even know how many, but always with night.
Yeah,
So it's really
yeah.
different. We don't have to bring a headlamp.
Mm.
There's no need
Yep.
because it's just light the whole time.
Yep.
And sleeping in a tent, I think we might have to get some eye masks.
Yep.
Just so that we can go to sleep. But
Yes, for sure. Yep.
yeah.
Look forward to. Hope you has a good trip.
Yeah. We're really excited, and we both were former canoe guides, so it's very
We're
very
professional
excited.
then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be. We're not afraid of it, so
Yeah.
it's more like we're just really excited to do that.
I forgot to mention too.
go for
Changing
it.
subject here. Sorry.
Sure. No.
A week and a half before I came to Norman Wells.
Yeah.
I was talking to my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and my great grandfather, her father. He, in the late 40s, you can't remember, or early 50s, he was hired on by the Hudson Bay Company in Hopedale as a
Okay.
translator for the Hudson Bay Company.
Okay.
And he ended up in Norman Wells.
Oh, no way.
Yes, I was like, whoa, I'm going, because I bring up my conversation to her, I'm going to Norman Wells for some meetings.
Yeah.
She said, as soon as I said Norman Wells, she put that connection because she said that's what her dad used to always talk about.
Huh.
All these trips up here or whatever he was doing working here.
That's
as
so
a translator.
cool.
It is.
That's wild.
It's almost like a full circle almost, I guess, for our family.
I have a similar experience. My grandfather worked for Crawley Films. He was the owners of Crawley Films. He was their son, and this was one of Canada's first production companies. And they would make films. And have you ever seen Paddle to the Sea?
Nope.
No, it's a Canadian film about a wooden canoe, and it a boy whittles it and sets it in the snow, and then summer comes and the snow melts, or spring comes, and then it runs. There's runoff, and then basically it's like a short film where it follows this little toy canoe. A fisherman finds it and throws it back in the water, and it makes it all the way to the ocean.
Yep.
Right. Anyways, that's just lots of Canadians know that film, but he.
It's a pretty one.
Yeah, well, no, actually, I thought more Canadians knew about it than I actually do. But he was working in film and spent a lot of time working in the north with planes, and he actually came up here as well. But the weirdest thing is that my work, in a large part, is in the north with planes as well. But I didn't train. I didn't go to school for film at all. I kind of fell into this after the fact. So it's just this really weird thing when I was talking to my mom about getting my work with Northright and whatnot, and then she goes, your grandfather was doing basically like that kind of exact same thing. Is very, very strange.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah,
Very
it is
interesting.
funny how these things kind
I
of
know
go
it
in
keeps
circles.
going, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah. Meant to be here.
yeah. Well,
It's a good sign.
it's a
sign, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. Well, I don't know.
It's something
it
there.
fits.
It fits exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word. It fits.
Yeah.
That's right. So I got to do some more research now on my great grandfather to see what Hudson Bay, any records of him here or stories. I got to do some research. Yeah.
There's a profound memory here of everyone who's come through, more or less.
Yes, for
especially
sure.
if they've had an impact. So
Yeah.
people don't forget.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you, and just like to thank everybody here in the community for the warm welcome we've been here for the last 3 days, and this opportunity for welcoming us in your community. It's been fabulous for all of our team, and we all enjoyed it and listening, and we appreciate it. And
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come on the show, but to also visit the community, it means a lot to us.
And just know that, like I said, the Nutrition North program, there's a website. There's a lot of information on there, how the subsidy works. There's different levels of shipping and fresh produce compared to how it shows. Everything is there, how much funding was released, the levels of subsidy, what's covered and what's not covered, and it's all there on the website. And if you're not satisfied with that, there's emails there for you to reach out through the government to get some more direct answers and
Get some more information.
Yes.
Well, if you guys keep subsidizing food up here, we'll keep eating it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Well, yeah.
good.
Here, man.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you again.
Take care.